The verse flows throughout Aquaria, through each ripple and wave, through every living being. The verse binds us all as one. The verse binds us, narrator and explorer. My story will become your own, and yours will become mine. You will live my life through my eyes, and you will learn the truth. As far back as I can remember, I came to this place to think. This cave was my sanctuary. Here the verse was so focused that I could feel it humming in the stones around me. If I called out in song, the cave and its creatures would dance to my tune. If I had stayed there, I might have found peace. But eventually, loneliness and restlessness drove me away. When confronted with a dangerous situation, I was wise to use the full range of my physical abilities to avoid it. With a powerful thrust of my legs, my webbed feet would propel me forward, leaving my pursuers in my wake. As I sang, I could feel the verse flowing through me. Certain songs stirred the verse deeply, causing changes in the surrounding waters. The first song I had discovered would wrap the verse around me, protecting me from environmental dangers. The power that lay within these crystals flowed to places beyond this world, and the memories of all who neared them were reflected in their depths. I chose to record my story within these crystals for the benefit of those who would journey beyond my life. In all my memory, every day had been like every other. If she had not appeared before me in that moment, I might have stayed in those waters for the rest of my days, living as a simple creature. But I was compelled to follow. The strange form faded before my eyes. Perhaps I'd only dreamed her, but I was no longer the same. That vision. I'd lived as a feral creature, not thinking beyond the simplest desires, until now. As if from a dream, I awoke to the reality of my existence, to the fact that I was alone. I knew that this world was called Aquaria, and that my name was Naja, but I could recall nothing else. Was I the only one of my kind left? Was I destined to live out the rest of my days in solitude? My heart ached for answers. In time, I would discover far more than I'd wished to learn. was enveloped by warm light as familiarity overwhelmed me. I had come home. There were many strange ingredients to be found in the waters of Aquaria. By cooking them together with the verse, I could create new foods. Some of my recipes proved to be very useful. In these ancient ruins lay the untold histories of Aquaria. With exploration and perseverance, I would rediscover long-lost knowledge. The ancient door stood tall and resolute. It was ornately decorated with swirling patterns, but did not provide an obvious means for opening. I would have to search these waters to find its secret. The crystal was not like the others I'd encountered. In its depths, I could sense the presence of something alive. I was compelled to move closer. In a brilliant flash, an odd creature had emerged from the crystal. Her gaze penetrated my soul, and though she did not speak, I could hear her words echoing inside my head, as clear as the waters around me. It was beautiful. Glimpses of her memories flashed in my head and threatened to overwhelm me. I closed my eyes and felt for one brief moment that I was connected to all of history. When I opened them again, the creature was gone. From the imprisoned soul, I inherited a new song. By binding the verse around physical objects, I would be able to move them through the waters with ease. Pulling the obstruction aside, I glided forward, peering into the cavernous depths. No matter my hesitations, I would have to continue into this darkness. Where blood had flowed through me, now ran a stream of pure power. A new passion enthralled me. My mind reeled at the dark gift I was granted. If I sang the song of this deceased god, I would become a being of pure energy. In this form, I could sense the lines of energy that flowed throughout the waters. Using my mind as a flint, I could spark a projectile that would leap towards anything that dared impede my progress. Not only could I create a spark, if I focused my mind for a time, I could create a pool of energy so large that it would fracture into tendrils, lashing any creature that drew near. I discovered that in the energy form I could not call out in song. To return, I would have to focus my energy inward. As the creature fell, I sensed a presence reach into my mind. Another vision began. A race, known as the Crotites, had built this temple to worship this fallen god. They'd honored raw power above everything else. Unlike the spirit I'd encountered in the crystal, these people had no interest in creation. They reveled in destruction. Their lust for power led not only to the downfall of their civilization, but also the destruction of another. Now, this destructive power simmered within me. rush of new waves greeted my ears as I glided into undiscovered waters. Though a chapter of my life had ended, my journey was far from over. I discovered a fallen statue of a race that resembled my own. Though it had collapsed from many years of decay, it still marked the way to those who had built it. Perhaps if I followed, I would find more of my kind. A fractured tablet lay nearby. I stared at it, and though I didn't understand how, I could read what it said. This had been a city called Mythalis. An entire city in ruin. Were there no survivors? The Princess of Mythalis had lived here. I wondered if I'd been here once upon a time. I fancied myself roaming here in ages past, with a faithful prince at my side. I had glided into the chambers of a former ruler. From what I could gather from a nearby portrait, this room belonged to a young prince of Mythalis. Were these people my ancestors? Or did I merely wish, desperately, to be one of them? The twisted, disgusting creatures swam ungainly towards me. In their shallow eyes I saw only a hunger for flesh. With horror, I realized that they resembled the fallen statue that had led me here. Sickly red veins ran throughout this ancient cathedral. Where hopeful believers had once come to rejoice, foul monsters now thrived.
killed the final rotted core of this wretched cathedral, and tears welled up in my eyes. With every creature I destroyed, every ancient being I put to rest, I felt a part of myself slip away. It was not only that I had caused the destruction, but that I had enjoyed it. I feared this nightmare would never end, and I would be drawn into a spiral of dementia. Perhaps I would never find my family, but there had to be someone to keep me from the darkness.
Mythalis, as it once was. A grand city built by a noble people and watched over by a royal family. They were all children of a god named Mythala. The Mythalans immortalized their god's noble visage in stone and built many statues honoring him throughout Aquaria. For hundreds of years, the city of Mythalis stood strong, providing its inhabitants with long, fulfilling lives. If only the vision had ended there. If only every Mythalan had been noble. With the comforts and safety of the city came a new calling: eternal life. The Mythalan priests who acted as Mythala's mouthpiece saw the coming of a greater god. A creator who had designed and given life to each of the gods. A creator that would eventually destroy their entire race, as he had so many others. The priests delved deeper into the hidden secrets of the verse to escape the bonds of mortality, but the powerful magic they discovered came with a high cost. They bound Mythala in chains and began drawing out his life force to power their song. They executed heretics one by one, forcing Mythala to feast upon his own children. Mythala began to change. His mind sank into the simple, dull anger of the beast. Eventually, he stopped shedding tears as he ate. The hunger had consumed him. The rot inside Mythala's heart grew. His body became bloated and deformed. His flesh began to spread throughout the city, polluting the waters. Drask, the prince of the Mythalans, had seen his family die at the hands of the priests and their mutated disciples. He confronted the priests, and though he could not prevent their escape, he did discover their secrets. I wondered if he still lived somewhere beyond this world. The vision began to fade. Mythala's spirit was departing. For the first time, I tried to reach out, to communicate. Oh, great Mythala, I need your help.
Naija, I am dying now. It is my time to rest.
You have suffered so much, but I must ask a favor of you.
Speak quickly, little one, for I do not have much longer.
Who am I?
You are the child of the 13th. You are the one who will unite the waters of Aquaria. You will restore the balance of nature, and you will find love, Naija. You have so much to see, and you will become so much. There will be great pain, but I have faith that you will triumph in the end. Take heart, little one.
Thank you.
It is growing cold now. You have freed my spirit at last. Now, little Naija, take my form and journey to the land of the light.
In beast form, my strong animal legs allowed me passage through powerful currents, and my sharp, jagged teeth proved invaluable for devouring my prey. A wave of relief washed over me. My heart pounded as if it was about to erupt. I had survived. Many an innocent had lost their lives in Mythalis. Their hopes and dreams had been extinguished without reason. They would not be forgotten. Their spirit would live on inside me, and in time, I would avenge their deaths. Never before had I encountered such a lush environment. Countless diverse creatures flowed between the tall stalks of kelp. I could not help but be awed by the infinite beauty of the natural world. Entering the fish form, I became one with the simple creatures of Aquaria. I could swim past some of my enemies without detection and navigate small passageways with ease.
These strange nymphs looked a bit like me, but they were half sentient and could only communicate through song and dance. They wove the tale of one who ruled their forest from above, a mother whose tears flooded these waters with regret. I had a feeling I would encounter her at the heart of this forest.
Drunias lived in peace for many years, living in harmony with nature, until one day, when without warning, they experienced true fear for the first time. A greater god, one with immense power, was ashamed of his creations. Through anguished tears he screamed out, tearing the Druniads apart in his turmoil. Though he slaughtered their entire race, he could not bear to kill their mother. And so, I had come to inherit her power. My veins hardened into vines, bark encased my skin, and moss sprouted from my back and head. In this form, the natural world whispered to me, and I could feel the promise of creation stirring within. The forest nymphs rested, for their mother had imparted her gift unto me. Now they sang a sweet, melancholic verse. Summer's passion fades to fall, and with fall comes the hope of winter. At the time, I had no idea what it meant. After singing the song of the spirit form, I would detach from my mortal frame and enter the world between the living and the dead. Thankfully, I could only hold this form for brief distances. I did not wish to linger in that cold world long. Waters were warm and terrifying. The thought occurred to me that I had reached the end of the world. What if all that awaited me was a blazing inferno? Though my mind was terrified, my heart longed to venture further. As I absorbed the essence of the verse, my life force was increased. The first taste of air, the warm embrace of the sun on my back, the wind flowing beneath me. I had crossed through the veil.
For too many years I've been smothered beneath the surface, blind to the beauty of town. I'd finally cornered the strange-looking creature. He tried to flee from me again, but my curiosity was too great to allow his escape. He seemed to be trapped in an odd-looking shell. Perhaps if I removed it... I was surprised to find that underneath this boy's shell, he had a face not unlike my own. A face that seemed familiar. Without knowing what I was doing, I floated forward, pressing my lips against his. A tune leapt to my throat, one embedded deep within my memory. The verse flowed through me and bound itself around us. Hours, days, perhaps seconds passed. I'd lost all concept of time. There was only the verse. And Lee. His name rang in my head. This creature was called Lee. We were so similar, and yet not. I was intrigued. The verse waned slowly, and we drifted apart until nothing but water flowed around us. Lee gazed at me through half-closed eyes. He seemed at peace. My mind faded. Slowly, I awoke. For a moment I had no idea where I was. Lee returned, and I remembered.
It was odd to think that I was not the only person left alive. I was aware of every flaw in my appearance. I felt exposed. Colour rose to my cheeks and I struggled to hide my shame. My connection to Lee allowed him to exist within the waters without his awkward shell. It had also given him a new appetite for the creatures of the water. As we ate, I could tell he was excited with his new abilities. We realised that we'd both ventured out to find answers. We left that place knowing that together we would be able to explore further than either of us could on our own. For the first time in all my memory, I was not alone. Lumerians had left the waters of their birth for the bright, warm currents of the Vale. Awed by their new surroundings, many of them came to worship the great sphere of light, known as Sun. With their adventurous spirit came new ingenuity. They learned to design and build elaborate mechanisms to survive in the foreign environment. The god who had bore them became jealous of this sacrilege, and in a blind rage, destroyed them all. In the sun form, I gained the ability to focus the verse into rays of light, bringing clarity to shadowed depths. Many deadly creatures lay waiting in the darkness of the abyss. It would take a great deal of courage to proceed without a source of light.
find you, and you will love me forever.
This barrier was marked with a strange symbol. Had I seen it somewhere before? Together we'd opened the path to a new discovery. If only I'd known then what darkness lurked beyond. Lee was particularly excited by these ruins. It was as if he recognized them. They did not look like the work of Aquarians. I suspected that they were from beyond the veil. Perhaps Lee's world was destroyed as well. From the fallen body of the monsters rose two spirits, a father and a mother.
It was then that... Lee! Just like that, after so much, I was alone again. I felt empty, hopeless. For a moment, I considered giving up. What was the use? But that feeling gave way to a boiling anger. Though it scared me to have such thoughts, I knew that I would hunt down that dark creature and kill it. I would not be alone again. The spirit of a Crotite warrior. The spirit of the Prince of Mythalis. The spirit of an Arulian messenger. The spirit of a Druniad from the kelp forest. By retrieving the four spirits, I gained the power to free Lee from his prison. Lee! In dual form, Lee and I would bond together to become one new being. Our combined form had two sides, and by using each side properly, we could unleash a devastating attack. With firm resolve, I swam onward, the anger of ancient spirits burning inside me. I would see this journey through to the end, no matter what the scars it left in my conscience. I had to know the truth. He spoke, and his voice was forever burned into my memory, in perfect detail.
Your darkness is mine, little one. Your life is mine. I created all that you have witnessed, and though you have struggled and fought, it is all for nothing. This world is my canvas. I will paint upon it whatever I see fit, until I have completed my masterpiece. You, little Nija, are flawed, but you come from one who is perfection. You will be my companion for the rest of eternity. You will have the honor of witnessing my final masterpiece.
But I am a conscious being, with my own hopes and desires. I do not belong to you.
Yet it all sprang from my mind, my efforts, ungrateful one. Bow before me and worship your creator.
No, I will not. I have lived free. I've explored beyond.
You have been allowed to play in my world. Now your turn is over. You will love me and nothing else.
But have you ever truly loved? Has anyone ever willfully loved you?
You love an aberration, a foul symbol of chaos.
Why does such a small creature frighten you so? Perhaps you're not as powerful as you claim. Perhaps you can only control what lies in the water.
Fool! I am a god!
Perhaps you dream to be. But I will never worship you.
Then you must die.
was taken away in an instant. I should have died with them. Instead, I was brought back. The spirit that gave me life stayed inside me. It became a part of me. I had so much power. I could create anything I desired. I was so lonely, so I tried to make friends. But they had minds of their own. It made me jealous. I wanted to feel loved again. I remembered the time I felt the happiest. My mother's song. So simple. So beautiful. I could never remember the chorus. Only the verse. It haunted me. I tried to get rid of the song, but it only spread through everything I made. So I tried to make her. She was so beautiful in my mind, but the ones I brought back were never the same. Until I made Mia. But she was too perfect. She left me, and she made you. There are still many things you don't know, Nisha.
you may still be able to find her. There's been so much anger, so much beauty, for hundreds of years, but it all feels like a dream. I think it's time to stop dreaming now. Sing me to sleep. Sing to me like she did.
As the waters flowed past me, I could feel my mind sinking away from adventure. To a husband. To a family. Though my long journey was complete, and the world restored to the balance of nature, I could not help but be drawn back time and again to the vivid memories of my adventures. The strange and marvellous places I'd visited, the fantastic creatures I'd encountered, and the spirits I'd freed. Perhaps a part of me still lingered in the past, floating amongst the shadows of forgotten ages. I longed for the feeling of discovering new waters, striving for a destination that lay just beyond the next wave. It would never come again.
Lost at the heart of sea.
Naja, you've finally arrived.
Finally? Who are you? Mother?
I have a name, you know. Mia, he used to call me. His perfect little creation.
Mother,
Shh, come here. Quiet now. All is well. He's dead.
I killed him, but he was just a little boy.
Little boys are trouble, Naja.
I searched so long to find you. Why didn't you tell me who you were?
Oh, Naja, you silly girl. I always knew where you were. I was the one that wiped your memory.
What? Why?
It's quite simple. You never would have become what you are now if I hadn't.
What I am now. I'm a mother with a family.
Naja, you're in love with a human. One could hardly call a human a real person. No, you and I are meant for greater things, my child. A mother.
Let me go.
Oh no, my dear. What would you do, spend the rest of your life underwater? Burping babies and changing diapers? It's time we rose above it all, my child. There are much greater worlds above, ripe for the taking. With our power combined, we'll be unstoppable.
Mia, I'm done. I'm done with fighting. I'm done with killing. I just want to go back to my family.
Silly girl. You crave adventure. If you didn't, you wouldn't have ended up here. Constantly searching, seeking out answers, and killing. That's what you do, my dear.
No. Let me go back. Let me go!
Oh, there. It'll probably be easier for you if I remove your consciousness for a time. There we are. We wouldn't want anyone tracing any more of your memories now, would we? There's a good girl.